How many fermentation tanks should be configured for the size of the brewery? When starting a brewery or expanding an existing brewery, one of the most critical decisions you will make is determining how many fermenters you will need. Fermenters are vital in the brewing process, converting the wort into beer by adding yeast. The number of fermenters depends on factors including the size of the brewery, the type of beer being brewed, and production goals. 1. Brewery size. The size of the brewery is a key factor in determining how many fermenters are needed. Small breweries with limited space and production capacity may only need a few fermenters. Larger breweries with higher production volumes require more fermenters. Consider your available space and production goals when determining how many fermenters to purchase. 2. Types of beer. Different types of beer require different fermentation times and temperatures. You plan to brew various styles of beer and may need more fermenters to accommodate different fermentation requirements. 3. Production target. If you are a new brewery, you will need fewer fermenters up front. As the brewery grows and production increases, it becomes necessary to invest in additional fermenters to meet demand. 4. Calculate fermenter requirements. Yield is the total amount of beer you plan to produce in a given period, usually a year. To calculate how many fermenters you need based on production, divide the desired yield by the number of batches you plan to brew each year. Then divide that number by the number of fermenters you plan to use per batch. For example, if you plan to produce 10,000 barrels of beer per year and brew 20 batches of beer per year using 2 fermenters per batch for a total of 200 fermenters, 10,000 barrels per year divided by 20 batches per year divided by 2 fermenters per batch equals 200 fermenters. 5. Turnaround time. It is also possible to calculate how many fermenters are needed based on the turnaround time. Divide the total time required to ferment a batch of beer by the turnaround time. Then multiply that number by the number of batches you plan to brew each year. For example, if it takes 10 days to ferment a batch of beer and your turnaround time is 5 days, you will need 2 fermenters per batch. If you plan to brew 20 batches per year, you will need 40 fermenters in total. 10-day fermentation time divided by 5-day turnaround time, x 20 batches per year equals 40 fermenters. 6. Peak production. Peak production is the maximum amount of beer you plan to produce at any given time. To calculate how many fermenters are needed based on peak production, divide the peak yield by the number of fermenters required per batch. For example, if your peak production is 1,000 barrels of beer and you need 4 fermenters per batch, you will need 250 fermenters in total. 1,000 barrels of peak production divided by 4 fermenters per batch equals 250 fermenters. As your brewery grows, the number of fermenters you need may change. To ensure you have the right number of fermenters to meet your production goals, beyond calculating the number of fermenters required, the maintenance and care required for the fermenter should also be considered, ensuring the longevity and performance of your fermenter. The above is about the fermenter-related content. If you have any questions, please contact us.